Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome to the Endzone 2 demo. I've been really looking forward to this. Endzone A World Apart was one of the first games I played on this channel, and it's actually one of the first series I finished on the channel, where we set ourselves a target, hit that target, and it was done. So now we're going to have a look at the early access demo of Endzone 2 and see all of the changes that have been made. So let's dive in. So, Endzone A World Apart began with a group of settlers in the middle of nowhere who had emerged from a vault called an Endzone. And it was in the aftermath of a nuclear apocalypse. So, it's a city builder set in the aftermath of a nuclear apocalypse. And it was really, really good. We're going to have a lot of tutorials thrown at us, but I'm just going to let them play through. Some of them that are more important I will talk about. But we start off with a vehicle called the Pathfinder. So what we need to do is find a suitable site to establish a settlement. What we need to do though is manage the amount of water we have in the Pathfinder and try and find habitable zones as quickly as possible. If this water runs out, our settlement will collapse and everybody will die. We're going to do a quick loot run here and grab everything from here. This is pretty good, so we'll load up all of this stuff, including the scrap, which we've full on that, but we've got tools there and plastic. Now these are all useful materials. We're not going to leave anything there. We'll have to leave that scrap behind, but we will, we'll be able to send the Pathfinder back out to collect that at a later date. But it'll be good to just do these little loot runs while we're on our way. You can see our dot there. That is what's been earmarked for the new settlement. We'll do a quick supply. Can we do a supply run there? It doesn't look like we can. Send a vehicle to this location to loot the ruin. We've sent a vehicle there. There we go, loot run. We've got some wood. We're full on wood. We've got more tools though, which will be very useful, and we've got some cloth, which again is going to be useful. You use cloth to build your settlements, your tents and stuff like that, which is where your citizens will live as you begin your new journey into the wasteland. We're going to continue doing these little loot runs and grabbing cloth, plastic and tools, because the tools are going to be very useful for some of our builders and citizens to actually do some work. And I really like the idea of having vehicles. I think that's a really nice addition to the game. We didn't have them at first. You could send explorers out into the wasteland and they would walk. But again, a lot of the original Endzone was tasked with doing a lot of management, where basically the soil was constantly radioactive. So you had to always be purifying it or managing ways to keep your citizens protected, which meant producing gear for them and making sure that they were topped up on protective equipment, which made it quite difficult because you needed to get some high tier resources to be able to do that. And there were other ways to do it, like washing the soil with irrigation and things, and it was a really nice set of mechanics, but it was pretty brutal even on some of the easier difficulty settings. So I'm kind of hoping this new game gives us a little bit more in terms of being able to just peacefully build. That was even before we got raiders. We can actually do an expedition here, but I'm not going to do that right now. We're just going to carry on driving off into the wilderness looking for our settlement. It looks like it's guiding us to the edge of a mountain range here, so we're going to try and... There must be a way up. But our Pathfinder obviously isn't going to be able to go that far in. Currently, it looks like this barren landscape, so I'm wondering if... I've not seen a water source either yet. So hopefully something will come up soon. Looking like it's not going to be pretty good. We're going to speed it up, seeing as we've gone off-road. Oh, there we go. So, we have a zone here now. So the properties of the currently viewed habitable area are displayed above the map, provided it has been uncovered. It's worth taking a look at this before settling. The individual pieces of information can be clicked on to jump to the respective position with the camera. So we found a new zone. Take a look at it when you get the chance. It might be worth it to build a new settlement on it. So we've got fertile soil, we've got swampland, and we've got clay. So this takes us to the locations of those new areas. So there's fertile soil, there's swampland, and there's clay deposit. Now we just need to get our Pathfinder to that location.
Engine running.
So we'll head on over there. Looks like we can just drive up this bit here. So we'll do that. Get the game speed all the way up. And yes, we can build our new settlement right here. So we're going to do that. And now, the transfer point serves as an access point for vehicles and connects your zone with the surrounding wasteland. Look for an ascent on the perimeter of your new zone where you can place the access point. So we can place our access point in an area around here. Can rotate it. I think this is probably going to be it. There. Excellent. Right, our new settlement is now built and we need to build our town centre. Now I'd like to build our town centre. We've got fertile ground here, we've got some water there, and we need to look for some scrap as well. There's a little bit down there, but not loads. There's quite an abundance of it there. But given that we want to be quite close to the farm, I think maybe around here is going to be the best place. And we can maybe just scrap the buildings that are there. So let's build our town centre right there near the water. So, in the middle of the bottom edge of the screen, you'll find the most important entry points for the course of the game, the construction and road menu, an overview of all vehicles so that you can find them again quickly, and an overview of all the professions in the settlement you're currently looking at. So I guess we can do several new settlements here based on what the map looks like. So we need water. To get water, we need to build a jetty. So we find our jetty right there on the edge. Maybe we'll put it here just for a bit more space, and our citizens will get off and start working on that. So we're automatically going to assign a water carrier. We'll have 2 going in there. That's done. Oh, we need 3 water carriers, it says. Right, okay, let's go back to our profession. This is a nice little new menu for managing your people working there, so that's pretty good. And then our jetty will produce water as long as we have people there. We also need to get a foraging hut. Now, I'm going to have people forage maybe in that forest there, because some of the larger ones I definitely want to be using for cutting down trees. Currently have homeless settlers, but that's okay. I guess we'll sort that out in the near future. So our foraging hut is going to go there, and they're going to be able to bring in, let's get the maximum. I think 410 is the best. Oh, 420. Right, there we go. So they will then forage for stuff for us, and we can assign some foragers. So let's go with our professions again. We want 3 foragers assigned, and then we can start bringing in food. So we've got food and water coming in, which is an all-important part of beginning our new civilization. Once that forager's hut is built, there we go. So this produces food as long as there are sufficient resources in its vicinity. If a region's resources are used at some point, you can relocate the work area of a foraging hut. Now this was something that I did quite often in my original playthrough, and it basically involves you changing this work radius here, and you can send them off to other places, but we leave them where they are for now. If we run out of trees again, we can relocate the work area. So we're going to go into our raw materials and our woodcutting lodge, and we'll put our woodcutters lodge right around here. And what we'll do, once we've assigned our lumberjacks, you will have their work area change to this larger portion of the forest there, where there's a lot more trees. Another thing I've noticed is over here at our jetty, we have an ecology rating. We also have an economy rating, and I think there's another one which is social rating. So our woodcutting lodge is already producing. The production site can produce faster when it stands near a depot. Although you don't need to have any depots, the town centre does have the same effect. Besides wood, the most important material is scrap. That's what the scrapyard is for. It collects scrap that lies around and takes apart old ruins. So we're now going to build a scrapyard. We'll build our scrapyard, which is, let's have a look at what kind of building it is. It's an economy building. So we'll put our scrapyard nearby. Maybe we'll just put the scrapyard here, and then we can have our scrapyard work in this area here to demolish that building. Excellent. Right. So it does say it's far off the work area, which does kind of change the production time, but just by moving it that little bit, you bring it into that area. So we need to assign some salvagers. So 2 will go into that, and that's done. And it would be nice to start linking these up with roads, but we don't actually have that unlocked yet. So our settlers need some place to sleep. Now, we do have access to housing. And here we've got our ecological dwelling, which we can put near to certain areas. The economy dwelling will go here, so that it's close to these spaces here. We'll put an ecological dwelling there. And then we'll put another one just on the outskirts of this berry deposit so that it's in that area there. And then we can do another, I think we'll do another economic one there. Right, so we've set up a bunch of tents and stuff. People will move into them very soon once they are constructed. There we have it. Right, as long as they have enough housing, our settlers will reproduce and have children. Children are tomorrow's manpower and can work as soon as they've grown up. Now, we need to build a recycler. If the scrapyard is nearby, the recycler produces faster. So we'll build our recycler, which will start turning our resources into plastic. I'm going to build it right there so that it gains benefits from the ecological and that scrapyard that's right next to it. That's a really nice little setup there. They're all going to be facilitating the growth of each other, and we should now be able to assign our recyclers. Put 2 in there, and there we have it. We are now bringing in plastic. We also, though, need a tool making plant. Things are really, it's throwing a lot at us, I will say that, but I think that's fine. We'll put the tool maker right there. Again, next to the scrapyard. It's far away from the recycler, kind of, but it's not too much of an issue. Let's get our tool makers up and running as well. Don't have any master builders. Where's our tool maker?
Very good.
There we go. Right, we've got 2 tool makers in. We've now got plastic and tools. Things which are needed in some buildings for production. They are also important to be able to build more complex buildings in the first place. The settlement is growing and soon the supplies won't be sufficient anymore. More settlers consume more food and water too, so build a fishery to support the foraging home. We also need to assign another water carrier. So we've assigned that, that's done, and then we need to build a fishery. Now I guess our fishing is ecological, so we'll put the fishery on this side of the map, right next to that building there. There we go. And once that's built, we've got, again, an ecological dwelling where people are going to work in the fishery. So we can assign 2 fishermen, and off we go. The fishery is more effective than the foraging hut. It does use up tools for its production, so if there's no tools, the fishery can't function. Conversely, the fishery produces faster when tools are produced near it. So if we'd had our tool maker next to the fishery, we would have been in a much better place. We've got insufficient storage capacity in the settlement already. Oh, can I actually relocate this building then? Because I think I'd quite like to have my fishery over there, so that it's close to the tool maker. Although I did put the tool maker over there, so it doesn't actually matter. Yeah, we'll leave that. So the next step is to build a plantation. So to do that, we need to find an area that's suitable for the plantation. I like this space here. Put it there, so it's quite close to that ecological building. Then we instruct the plantation to lay out a cultivation area and assign a gardener. So if we have a look at the area under cultivation, we can then find this fertile ground here, and we can start cultivating there. And I guess, right, it's at 95, so I don't want to do too much more because we've got, like, that's really cool actually. I quite like that. And then we assign a gardener.
Well done.
There we go.
Up
right.
till now,
So we can only grow fibers at the moment, but if we find more types of seeds, then we can cultivate them on the plantation too. Fibers are crafted into cloth at a weaving mill, which requires water and fibers, so make sure that sufficient supplies of water are always available. Right, so we now need to build something to process this, a weaving mill, into cloth. And I guess if that's close to the plantation, it'll be a good thing. Rotate the weaving mill, pop it down there. They will then get to work. Cool. We do need to assign a weaver. So if we go into here and scroll down, we will assign 1 single weaver to our weaving mill, and now we can get cloths. Now we can set up more tents for settlers to create space for new inhabitants, which is also necessary because we're going to need a lot of hard-working hands. Keep in mind to place the tents near the appropriate production buildings so they can function more effectively. So I think over here we did have an economy building. Yeah, we've got an economy building there, but we also have a ecological building there. So we'll put that one in as well. I think I just moved it out of range of that fishery. Yeah, I did, but it's at least going to benefit the plantation. So that's fine. We need some more simple shelters, so why not put a simple shelter just behind? Let's put another one there. Actually, that's fine. So we're low on storage capacity everywhere by the looks of things. Can I do another economic tent? What about rotating it? No, it's the same size regardless. So I'm going to put another economy tent there. That takes us up to 7 of 8, 8 of 8. Great. So our little settlement is starting to grow much bigger. If the population increases, then the settlement supply situation has to grow too. Apart from the jetty, you can also build wells that can pump water out of wet, swampy, marsh soil. So where can we build our well? I'm going to slow the speed down a second. Got an autosave coming up as well. We don't have any swampy marshland nearby. So that is going to be something that we're going to need to rectify. Is that a swamp or is that fertile ground? Once this autosave's done, I'll be able to tell you. I think it is fertile land. So our swampland must be a little bit further afield, which could pose us some problems. Hopefully, though, this will be the introduction to us building roads, because I realise what I've done is slap down a load of buildings that don't actually have anything to kind of... no kind of uniformity in the settlement, which is pretty good. I think it looked like a lot of the buildings were linked up by their own roads that are built within those buildings, which I think is a nice little touch. If we just have a quick zoom in here, yeah, you can see there's little roads and pathways through the buildings, which I think is a nice little touch. So, looking around, I can see some swampland there. It's that light blue stuff, so it looks like we don't have anything on this side of the map. We're going to have to build our well all the way over here. And then we'll assign some well keepers to work in that. 2 well keepers. We then need to build buildings that produce food. So I guess we could build another farm, or another fishery, or another forager's hut. Actually, we can't. All our farms can build at the moment are that, so we're going to need another fishery. But that fishery is over there, so I think we're probably going to have to put one here. There we go. So that's another fishery done. We will need to assign another fisherman. Put it up to 4. Because hopefully they'll go into this one. Let's speed things up. We don't have a lot of free manpower. The supply situation is stable. Soon our depots will be filled to the brim. The depots are full, you have to increase their capacity. Oh, we don't actually have a depot, do we? We didn't build one. Yeah, that's the problem. So, at the moment, let's build a food depot. And we'll put the food depot here. And then we'll also put a material depot here. And we could also do with a cistern. We'll put the cistern there. Right, great. So we've built everything. We've got food depots, we've got material depots.
Each depot increases the maximum
right, okay, so that increases the maximum amount of resources we can stockpile, and our depots are full, buildings can't produce any further. Besides the short distance to a depot, good availability is important. Production site produces more effectively when it is connected to the town centre by a road. Finally, we can build roads. Excellent. So, we can only access a gravel path at this moment in time, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start putting in a gravel path that kind of links up everything. And it looks like as long as they're kind of touching the sides of places, we can make it work.
You connect via your road network, the more stable the production at your settlement is going to be able to run.
Okay, so it's not looking good for this bit here. What we'll do is we'll run a road out of here. We'll run a road all the way along there. And let's put a road there so it kind of doubles up and makes it a bit of an extended area, and then we'll have this wrap around to here. This is looking really bad. So if you're looking for tips on how to build a good road, don't follow me. We'll also run one along the water's edge there. And then hopefully once we actually demolish this town, we'll be able to do that. Right, build a tree nursery. So the tree nursery, I'm guessing, just allows us to grow trees. So I think we should put this. It will benefit from having an eco building. We're going to put it here. We'll put it there. Then we'll assign a forester. Because what we can then do is expand the forest where our foraging home is.
That can be used again by the woodcutting lodge.
So if we put the work radius to like here, they will grow a forest in that area. Bring it as close to the edge as we can. There we go. So they'll plant trees, which can be used again by the woodcutting lodge, but I'm not looking to use it in there. So, rising radiation levels. This is one of the difficult things. So, a sharp increase in radiation is going to occur soon. We should start to get sufficient protective clothing ready. We need that. So, the first component of a complete set of equipment we need is coal. So, we need a coal kiln. Now, the coal kiln is notoriously unhealthy. So, it will have a very negative impact if we go over here. You can see the health will probably be impacted by having a coal kiln in that radius. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my coal kiln quite far away, but I'd like it to be close enough so that it's in range of the salvager there and potentially in range of some industrial housing. So maybe we can just about fit it in here. It is in range there. We still haven't demolished this. Let's have a quick look at our scrapyard. Yeah, they're going pretty well there. 1,740 left until that building is demolished. We're going to put our coal kiln just there. And then we're going to assign some charcoal burners. I don't think that's an optimal place. We can maybe look at moving that somewhere else at some point. But for now, we're getting coal in, and that's what's important. We'll get another road up and running. This one is going to come around the back here, link up these areas, and then we can have our coal burner go right into main settlement there. Cool. Right, we are going to need to do something about, we need a tailor's workshop. We're probably going to need another woodcutter's lodge, simply due to the increased demand. So I think we will get another woodcutting lodge, maybe over here. Just on the edge of that farmland, and then we'll move their work radius to just the edge here. Yeah, that'll do it. And then we will build another house over here. What we want to do is put in an economic tent. No, apparently not. Let's get 2 more woodcutters in anyway. And then can we build one? Yeah, there we go. Right. Now, a tailor's workshop. So the tailor will require clothing. It needs cloth and charcoal. So there's cloth there, there's charcoal there. I'm going to put it here just for the sake of it. And then we will assign a couple of tailors, one tailor to work in that. It's really, really important that you get this up and running very soon, because the activated charcoal carbon masks are what essentially saves you in these situations. It can be very easily a very difficult time for you if your radiation levels rise and you don't have enough protective clothing. It very nearly killed my playthrough on several occasions. But yeah, we need to build a community building, which is the graveyard, and I think we're going to put it So this community building benefits from social housing, which goes nearby. We're going to put the graveyard around about here. And I think we then need to designate an area for the graves. So that's important. You don't want it to be too big because it can take up quite a bit of space in your settlement. What I'm going to do is I'm going to build a road that comes off here down to the graveyard. And then we'll be able to fit in some social housing on that side of things. It's nearly done, so we will assign an undertaker. Go. Once it's built, we can now designate a graveyard plot. And I think I'm going to have the graveyard plot kind of go here. No, I don't want it to. We'll have it go behind it. Like that. There we go. We've got a small grave plot there. Oh, it looks very uniform, doesn't it? Oh dear. And they're already burying a dead settler. Oh god. We've got a little bit of spelling error there. Burying. Anyway, we need to put down roots here and can start to upgrade this settlement further. We need sturdy building material to do that. We ought to fire bricks, and to do that we need clay. Not yet able to extract clay. Some advanced technologies, we lack the know-how, and we need to accumulate that knowledge first. So then we need to do some expeditions. To be able to perform research, first you need to track down ancient knowledge in the wasteland. The thing is, you can start an expedition at some of the ruins there. If you examine the ruin thoroughly enough, you receive 1 or more knowledge points, but not every site can be explored this way. In some of them, there are merely some resources to be gathered. So to obtain knowledge, we need a ruin that we can explore with an expedition. So we did pass one on the way in, but we're going to leave it there. I hope you've enjoyed the Endzone 2 demo so far. If you do want to see more, let me know. I'd be happy to play this one because I loved this game. I loved the first one. I think it was fantastic, and the graphical upgrades that they've made to this one, superb. But also, it seems like it might be a little bit more of a forgiving game so far. Who knows? But it definitely feels like it's easier to get things set up and get to that slightly more advanced stage in the game. They've done a lot of work on this, and I'm really, really pleased and very excited to see more. So if you want to see more, let me know in the comments, and I will see you next time. Thank you all for watching. Bye-bye.